Okay, girls, we're back. Just one more word about like terms that I wanted to mention before we start adding and subtracting polynomials is for you to remember that like terms have the same variable to the same degree. So, for example, x squared and 2x squared are like terms. X and 2x squared are not like terms because they're two different, the x, let's say 3x and 2x squared. They're not like terms because one is to the first power and the other is the second power of x. So just keep that in mind. I don't want to see people adding things and you do not add the exponents, you add the coefficients. So for example, 2x and 2x would be 4x plus 2. You can't add the 2. All right, it's a constant, but the 2x and the 2x are like terms. They can be combined. Over here, you're done. I think you saw that on sheet 12.1 that I had you do. 2x plus 2x squared. All you could do is put the 2x squared first to put it in standard form. Nothing can be combined here because it's addition and they're not like terms x squared and x. However, as we saw on sheet 12.1, even if they're not like terms, you can multiply. You may not be able to add or subtract them, but you can multiply them. 3 times 4 is 12. X squared times x is x to the third. So the final answer there is 12x to the third. So you want to keep that in mind, that you can multiply unlike terms, but you can't add them. And this is a little warning that I wrote there. So just please keep that in mind. When you combine like terms, do not add the exponents, only when you multiply. All right? So let's see. Here's two polynomials. And you can do this either vertically or horizontally. Eventually, you're going to go over to the horizontal method anyway, because it's going to be easier when you're working with problems that you're solving. So we combine like terms. 4x squared plus 2x squared. Let's just get rid of, if I do it horizontally, let me do it vertically first. Okay, so I write 4x squared plus 6x plus 7, which is polynomial 1, and I'm adding 2x squared minus 9x plus 1. All right, so just watch it both ways. 4x squared plus 2x squared is 6x squared. Notice how I put like terms under like terms. Plus 6 minus 9 is a negative 3x. So 6x minus 9x, negative 3x. 7 plus 1 is a plus 8, and that's my final answer. If you do it horizontally, you write down polynomial 1, and then you add. You drop the parentheses, and just plus a negative is the same as minus 9x plus 1. Now combining like terms, 4x squared plus 2x squared is 6x squared. And then I would combine the plus 6x plus negative 6x plus negative 9x is a negative 3x. You could think of it that way. And the constants get combined. 7 and 1 make 8. So plus 8. I get the same answer doing it either way. So whichever way makes sense, best sense to you. Try some more. All right. I think I'll do this one first horizontally and then vertically. All right. So I've got 3k minus 8 plus 7k. I'm adding, so it's plus 7k plus 12. All right. Then combining like terms, you've got 3k plus 7k. Always look to the left of the expression to see what to do. And you've got 10k, then negative 8 plus 12 is a positive 4. 10k plus 4. Over here, writing it this way, vertically, it's 3k and 7k, 10k. Negative 8 plus 12 is a positive 4. Same old answer. All right, let's do this one. Why don't we just do it all horizontally? You've got 8x squared plus 12x squared. You could do it almost in your head, is 20x squared. Then you've got plus 1 plus 6. Everything's positive here, so it's easy enough to just do it like that. And that's your answer. Next one. Here's a few for you to practice. Do them on your own and then look up and see if you're doing them right. And I will do them, but don't watch me. I won't talk, and I'll just do the problems. I'll give you the answer you should get. Okay, problem number 1, you should have gotten 6a squared minus 6a plus 20. A plus a needed to be simplified before you could start. You get a squared plus 2a for the first polynomial, and the second polynomial is fine. It's simplified enough, and then you just add the two together. All right, try the next one. I'm going to look at each one first. They're in standard form, and I'm ready. Better cross out as I go. All right, we've got y to the 5th first. Then we've got y to the 4th and 6y to the 4th. We've got 2y to the 3rd minus 3y to the 3rd. Negative 1 or minus y to the 3rd. And then we've got plus 3y plus 10y is plus 13y. And I hope that that's what you got. Okay, so you start with the highest power first that you can find. Don't miss it. It was y to the 5th. All right, and then you combine the ones that have exponent 4. Y to the 4th and 6y to the 4th. They're adding up to 7y to the 4th. And cross them out as you go along. Okay, now subtracting. Remember, subtracting is the same as adding the opposite. All right, so subtracting vertically I think might be a little easier. Write the first polynomial, 2x to the 3rd plus 5x to the 2nd minus 3x. And from that I'm going to be subtracting x to the 3rd minus 8x squared, line them up with the like terms, plus 11. Notice how I wrote the 11 at the end because it doesn't go under the minus 3x. It's not a like, they're not like terms. All right, so if I'm going to use the rule that subtracting is the same as adding the opposite, then every one of these is going to change its sign before I subtract. Let me put a 1 in here and make this negative. This goes from negative to positive. Add the opposite. This is the new sign. This is the new sign. There's nothing here, but this becomes a negative 11. And I'll circle the new sign. All right. So now I can add the opposite. 2x to the 3rd plus a negative 1x to the 3rd is a 1x to the 3rd. Which is just x to the 3rd. 5x squared plus 8x squared is plus 13x squared. Bring this down because there's nothing to combine it with. Minus 3x, and then plus a negative 11 is minus 11. So there's your answer, and I think it's kind of easy to do. You can do it either way. That's the vertical method. You change the signs of everything you're subtracting, or if you want to do it horizontally, let me rewrite it. It's like distributing a negative. 2x to the third plus 5x to the second minus 3x. Now, watch. I distribute the negative over everything. It's like multiplying by negative 1 almost. This becomes minus x to the third minus a negative 8x squared becomes plus 8x squared. I think it helps that you saw it over here. And then minus a positive 11. Minus 11. All right? And then I just have to simplify by combining like terms. I hope everybody remembers how to distribute a negative because it really helps. 2x to the third has to be combined with minus 1x to the third to get 1x to the third. Okay, then I have 5x squared plus 8x squared is a plus 13x squared. Now, negative 3x has nothing to combine it with, and minus 11 has nothing to combine it with. So look, I get the same answer doing it either way, horizontally or vertically. And I find that after a while, most people like to do it horizontally, distribute it, thinking of it as as though there was a negative 1 times everything. You can see where the rule comes from. Subtracting is the same as adding the opposite, and it works with the polynomials. Okay, so here's a couple for you to do. Maybe I'll do one more. You can do one vertically, the other one horizontally. And then I'll come back and I'll give you the answers to those. Copy them down, do them, and then I'll give you the answers. Okay, so there's your final answer. I distributed the negative, and I combined the like terms in x squared. 1x squared minus 8x squared is a negative 7x squared. Hope I did that right. I didn't leave anything out there. And that's what you should have gotten. And then up there, you just do it vertically. You change all the signs, and that's your answer. We're moving right along.